Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The New York Jets won their third game of the season on Sunday. How did they do it? We break down the all-22 film with Joe Blewett in his weekly spot on the show. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Guys, we always say this, and it's always going to be pretty. I got one game ball.
Let's keep it going next week.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go. The Jake Asman Show is live, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Reminder that you can get the show as a podcast wherever you get your podcast, Apple or Spotify. So make sure you check it out. This is the last show before the weekly raffle. So if you want to enter for your chance at the end of today's stream to win a signed Darrelle Revis jersey, signed LaDainian Tomlinson jersey, and a signed CJ Mosley helmet, now is the time. And when you enter during this show, you are also automatically entered in next week's Asmaniac Weekly Raffle, which will feature a grand prize of a signed helmet by Broadway Joe Namath. So 2 for the price of 1 on today's second stream. With that, let's say hello to our guy, Joe Blewett, who is one of the best at what he does, breaking down film. He's also part of the team over at Jets X Factor. Joe, a win for the Jets, 3 wins and counting, 3 of 5 for the New York Jets. How we feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I always say it. It's the thing where my head says lose. As soon as the game starts, the heart says win. So at this point, let's go 5-0 the last 5. Like I'm rooting for wins. They'll find their quarterback however they're going to find him. Beat the Dolphins, beat the Saints, knock the Bills out of the playoffs. Is kind of what I'm rooting for at this point. So it's nice to see the Jets be competent, because if we're not competent, doesn't matter who the quarterback is anyway. We're gonna fail them.
See the Giants for that example, right? They have the quarterback and they still can't win because everything is a mess over there. So there's always that 2 schools of thought: be bad, get the quarterback, but also, hey, if you don't have the infrastructure around the quarterback, what does it really matter? See Sam Darnold, who, by the way, was the right pick, but the Jets failed him with everything they gave him from a coach and roster standpoint. So I'm with you. We'll certainly, I'm sure, have the entire offseason to debate what the course of action is to get that quarterback. But for at least today, we will focus in on the film from the Jets and the Falcons. Bit of a weird game, Joe. I mean, it was low scoring in the first half and then an offensive explosion, certainly by Jet standards, in the second half. Before we get to specific plays, watching it back, what to you is the biggest takeaway you have from this game?
Yeah, and we're actually, I know the headline, but we're actually going to focus a little bit on where the Jets can improve some of the plays they missed, because I think if they round out and they don't make as many mistakes as they do and they get good quarterback play, they can actually be a much better team. We'll focus on a little bit of Will McDonald, who had a pretty good game, but overall, like it's nice to see that some of the young players are producing for the Jets. It's not like Frank Gore getting a touchdown, in years past, and the Jets winning a game because of that. Now, some of the special teams do, plays like in the Browns game felt a little bit empty because you're not sure if these guys are going to be back next year, even though I think Isaiah Williams, or not Isaiah Williams, but some of those guys are easily retainable. So, and they're young enough, so hopefully you can retain them and they continue to contribute to the good special teams. But you got some young players making plays, Isaiah Williams making plays, the offensive line playing really well, Will McDonald playing well, Briggs playing well. So it's nice to see that the guys who are here or who are going to be here in the future are making plays for the Jets, and it's not necessarily empty. Now they need to make a ton of improvements in certain areas, which we'll get to. But overall, it doesn't feel that empty, because these players, most of them will be here, who contributed to the win. Breece Hall's. Well, if Breece Hall's not here, we've talked about this. It's a problem, especially after not trading him. But most of the guys who contributed are young and upcoming, so it's nice to see them contribute to the dub.
I think that's well said. And again, when you win because of Frank Gore on a lame duck coaching staff, that to me is way different than winning because A.D. Mitchell, who could be a big part of your offense a year from now, is going for 8 catches and 102 yards. So I think you said that incredibly well. With that, let's get to some film now, Joe. You pick where we start. You went through all the plays of this game, and you have what we need to know from the game. So whenever you're ready, upload that first play. We will go full screen with you. I see it right here. And take it away, Joe. What do you got for us?
Yeah, well, we're actually going to go to more of like the misses from this game than the hits, just because like this game was weird in terms of the film because there wasn't a lot of plays that I felt that it was like pertinent that I commented on the film. It was almost weird, like there wasn't a lot of like standout plays from this one that I really wanted to break down. So I know we went positive with some negative games, and now I'm going a little bit more negative with a positive game because it's a win. But I just want to show where the Jets are missing a little bit, where with just some minor tweaks, like on the defense, where they can improve, greatly with just some better coaching and some better execution. Plays like this, where you have 2x2 with the running back to the top. So the Jets are going to drop into Tampa. You have Sherwood right here, who's going to be the pull runner. So he's basically going to be like the inside third of a cover 2 in Tampa. So he's going to open up to the passing strength, which is this side because there's 3 receivers here or 3 passing threats, 2 to the bottom. My problem here is, and we'll watch the play, it's third. I think it's 3rd and 4. Yeah, 3rd and 4 as I labeled it. Too easy. Nobody matches the number 2 right here. So Quincy, he's like sugaring the A gap right here, but he needs to get out to the 2 very quickly because the corner is occupied here by the number 1. If there was no number 1 here, he would pinch down onto Pitts, but Pitts runs a 5-yard hitch, whatever it is, wide open on 3rd down, 3rd and 4, pitch and catch, way too easy for the Falcons. So I just want to show some things where like, hey, we still have a little bit of a ways to go. And I think you're with me, like new DC next year, and hopefully can improve these things, because in what world is Quincy ever going to get to the 2 there to match him on a hitch right there, or any route really, So just large gaps in this defense, allowing 24 points to a Falcons team, getting gashed by Pitts. But you look at the stats of Pitts, it's like, oh, he must have dominated one-on-one matchups. It's like, this is a gifted 10-ish yards to Pitts. So an area they need to improve on greatly is not just spot dropping and actually matching guys. So we're going to continue to just roll through some of the blown coverages by the Jets. They should not have allowed as much as they did to the Falcons in this game.
Which, by the way, is a theme of the entire season, and we're in week 13, and we still have the blown coverages.
Yeah, dude, Sherwood too. Like Sherwood and Quincy, they have to go in a different direction next year. I don't think they're going to get rid of Sherwood, because I think it's after this year, it's like 2 years, $30-ish million for the new team. The Jets need some dead money, so who's going to trade for that contract with how bad he's played? But there's plays where like he whiffs tackles and then he loafs it a little bit, which is disheartening. And then Quincy is very volatile, boom or bust type of player. But this is a play where I even show the other angle because there's no need to. It's man coverage across the board from the Jets in this situation. And somebody, I'm assuming it's Sherwood. It's impossible to know sometimes when you have blown coverages who exactly blows it. But based on alignment, I'm assuming that he's in coverage on Bijan Robinson. And Bijan Robinson leaks out and is absolutely wide open because you're in man coverage and nobody picked him up. So what happens here is ball. He's in a hug rush, or a green dog is what it's called. So basically he's playing 89 in man coverage. If he stays into block, he blitzes. If he goes out on a route, he's responsible for him. You can see as soon as the ball is snapped, he's reading 89. Okay. He's staying in the block. I'm then going to blitz. So that's his assignment. Sherwood, I'm assuming, is on Bijan Robinson, who then leaks out into the for the Jets defense.
What's amazing too, Joe? We knew going in, no Drake London. So they have Bijan Robinson, and then they have Kyle Pitts. And it's like the Jets are like, that's fine. We don't need to cover their best players. It's like, the game plan from a defensive standpoint is, okay, they don't have Drake London. Well, we know Bijan is going to be featured. And if it's not Bijan, it's going to be Kyle Pitts. And both guys, especially Bijan, just tore him up.
Yeah. No, it's a problem. Kyle Pitts 3rd and 4 in a hitch, and there's nobody within 10 yards of him. Obviously a problem. So they do have to improve the individual talent. Again, Sherwood and Quincy next to each other are way too boom or bust. And the safety play needs to improve. But I think they have too much talent to be playing like the way they are consistently. Like they'll have a good game or two, but in this game they were pretty atrocious at times with the blown coverages and stuff. And this is another one here where, just like last week, I believe it was last week, but OCs know the Jets, like they're a little bit too predictable in their man coverage calls. And this is another man coverage call. And it's a different situation, but it's nearly identical to the play where Mechie got that touchdown last week, where I showed like you had the outside stem, which made the corner get over the top and like mess up the call, then you undercut it. Same thing here. You have the vertical from the one. You have Pitts, who initially stems to the outside, which puts Malachi Moore in a bad spot because at this point he can't undercut the rub. So he has to get over the top. He starts to get over the top. Pitts cuts it inside and is absolutely wide open, but it's not a play where I'm like, oh my God, Malachi Moore, terrible play in man coverage. It's like good offensive calls versus bad defensive calls are going to win. Like you could scheme your guys open. And this is an ideal example of scheming those guys open when you know the defensive calls. And you have a play where Pitts is getting, whatever that is, 20, 25 yards. McDonald to win on the spin move right here. Just, note it. Nice little ice pick there, setting into from the Jets defense. So I'll continue on with some blown coverages and stuff. It's hard to watch at times, but top of the screen here. And again, like nothing really stood out from this game. So I didn't mean to be negative. It's just like, it's what stood out that I wanted to talk about with just the Jets lackluster play on defense. This is another one. This one's straight up on Malachi Moore, but it's another play where simple assignments. Like this is again, man coverage across the board here. You have the motion from the receiver number one right here. He motions to Malachi Moore's side, play action. Malachi Moore is focusing in the backfield, and he's so late to match the drag route that it's just beyond wide open. And you have a drag that now goes for 10, 15 yards because Malachi Moore's eyes were in the backfield. So at a certain point, it's the players, but I'm more so blaming the coaching for how some of these guys are playing on defense, because some of these gains are just way too easy. One more of just smashing the defense, but this is another one where the Jets had ended the close view because the other view does not matter. Isaiah Oliver, who's not going to be here next year unless it's like in some type of reserve role, but he's responsible.
I don't know about that. Do you think Alan Lazard would still be here? You think Michael Clemens would still be here? I don't know.
Touche. He's responsible for the curl to flat and cover 3 right here. So it's a cover 3. You got the curl to flat and the hook to curls, and all he's doing is making sure nobody outflanks him to the sideline here. And another play where the Jets are getting beat up by a play action. His eyes are in the backfield. You have a slide route from the opposite side with Pitts working underneath the formation. Oliver needs to recognize that the slide route is coming, and he has the curl to flat on that side of the field, is very late to match it, and Pitts is beyond wide open again. So it's not a thing where like these guys are dominating the Jets one-on-one matchups. It's because of blown coverages, schemes, spot dropping that the Jets defense has been so bad. So I think with minor adjustments and some improvements on their assignments, like you're talking about a defense that we all expected. Like I'm not saying the Jets are going to be a top 5 defense this year, but I didn't expect them to be bottom 10 either. I expect them to be about a mid defense. And I think with, some tweaks to the roster, but better coaching, they could be middle of the pack, if not better. So I just wanted to highlight that a little bit.
No, I appreciate you doing it because, again, the one thing I'll say for the defense, they did make stops late when they had to, but if we're being fair, you go back and watch the last drive, as I know you did. They benefited from some Falcons drops at the end there that could have completely changed the game. And I don't know how you were thinking in real time. I thought when Atlanta got the ball back late, they were going to do what every other team has done against the Jets, what feels like this year, go down the field, kick a last-second field goal, and win.
Yeah. AZ had an overall a good game, but he got beat on, I believe, his 2nd and 10, and the receiver just dropped it on a dig. So the Jets did benefit a little bit from luck at times in this game with some of the drops, which were never on that side of the spectrum. So I'll take it. Like that Lazard play, like talking about luck, he was going for a deep ball to AD Mitchell, just chucking it up there. His arm gets hit because of a blitz that was well designed, and the ball floats to Lazard, and he catches it, which is a miracle in itself. A contested catch on top of that. So they benefit a little bit from luck at certain times in this game, but you still have to take advantage of it and win the game, right? So I think I'm still sharing, right, Jake? I can't tell if I am.
You are. Yep. I took it down when we were just talking, but whenever you're ready for the next play, I can pull it up.
Yeah. I can never tell because I just have the film on my screen. Yeah. So and I can't see you. But this play is another one on some of them on offense, and there are some misses. Tyrod's still not great. If I don't know how your show has been this week. If people are saying that Fields, or he's just as good as Fields, then you're on crack. Like he can at least operate an NFL offense. So that's nice. But there's still some missed plays from Tyrod. I didn't highlight all of them, obviously, because we have limited time. But that wheel route to Mason Taylor, he overthrew that one a little bit. There was the miss there. There's a force to AD Mitchell deep, where it was almost picked off later on in the game. So there are still some plays where he's not operating, overall, like or very efficiently. So this is
are guys being schemed open though, Joe? Like when you evaluate Engstrand, because I took a call from Black Gypsy, who's anti-Engstrand, and I'm saying, man, from what I could tell with all these reviews I do with you and checking out Sabo's breakdowns and DT and guys who watch it back, it to me feels like guys are open and we don't have the quarterback play that can execute. What's your read on just this offense with Tyrod now and Engstrand dialing things up?
Yeah, no doubt, dude. Like it's again, go back and watch last week's breakdown. Like that's really all you need to do for scheming guys open. Like everybody's talking about Mechie last week, and it was straight up Engstrand. Like, yeah, Mechie had to execute, he had to catch the ball, but Engstrand schemed him open on mostly all of his catches. The one touchdown was 100% on Engstrand. So that was there. Has he been perfect? No. Again, more creativity, short yardage stuff. Unpredictability. I think some things he could do better. But overall, he's scheming guys open, no doubt. Fields is not hitting them. Tyrod is a little bit slow to pull the trigger, not the best accuracy. He had to play this week with the double reverse into a flea flicker, and Mason Taylor is open. Tyrod just overshoots him. Mason Taylor didn't do a great job tracking the ball in that play. Just being honest. I still think it's probably an incompletion if he does track it well, but that was a good play designed by him. Mechie was good last week. So he's not been a slam dunk, but he's not been bad either. There's no way you could say that, in my opinion.
So you would trust him with a rookie quarterback if Glenn retained him? Like he should get the opportunity. He shouldn't be fired like Wills.
Yeah, no doubt. He's not done anything to me at this point. Like, oh my God, they need to fire him. I think if they've been a decent offense at times with terrible quarterback play. So it's not a situation where I look at him, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is Nathaniel Hackett level. Like I think he's been like a B level coordinator who is hamstring a lot of it by the quarterback play and some of the calls he could throw out there. So I think with a quarterback who can operate an offense, he'll get even more diverse in his scheme and stuff. And he's still trying to figure himself out as well. Like he's a rookie, so I think it'd be a mistake to let him go, just like it might have been a little bit of a mistake to let go LaFleur for Hackett. So yeah, I think he's fine, and I expect him to continue to grow as an OC, just like everybody does throughout their coaching career, NFL careers, etc. So I would not pull the plug on Engstrand at this point.
Speak of the devil, Black Gypsy, by the way, who's anti-Engstrand, was the first to gift today. Reminder for those tuning in, this is your last show to gift the membership. It's not going to be a super long show, so make sure you enter. We'll do the raffle at the end. Your final chance to win a Revis signed jersey, LT signed jersey, and a Mosley signed helmet. And when you enter today, you also are entered for next week, a little 2-for-1. Our top prize for next week's raffle, I've already announced it. It is a signed helmet by Broadway Joe Namath. With that, back to the film review. Joe Blewett, take it away.
Yeah, this is another one we're talking about, like Tyrod just not being the most efficient quarterback, a guy who, just like Fields at times, is a little bit scared to pull the trigger. And we have a play here where you have a Dover concept, which is going to be like a deep over and then a dig behind it. So you're going to read 1 to 2 to 3 with Mechie crossing the field right here. And obviously he's going to come off the one, right? Vertical inside breaking route with an inside and high safety. You're going to come off of that, get to the dig from AD Mitchell. And you're going to see the eyes. As soon as Tyrod starts to get lateral here, he gets lateral now. His eyes then flash to AD. So he's looking at AD at this point. AD, inside break, high corner, hips opened outside. This should be open as long as the conflict, player right here continues to widen. AD gets behind him. You throw this ball in there all day. He's staring at him. He's open. Doesn't throw the ball. And people are like, oh, you don't think this is an NFL window? You're on crack. You don't know what you're watching. Like, this is a good quarterback hits this 10 times out of 10, but it's another play where you have a guy open who's schemed open. He's schemed open on this play. It's a good call versus this coverage. He's a dig or he's on a dig route that's plenty open, and Tyrod doesn't hit it. So I don't know how you could blame, or say that Engstrand's not getting guys open, because he clearly is. And that's a play where AD Mitchell is open. Comes off of it, scramble drill happens, and then you have Brees, who does a good job of just sitting the route down at the sticks and then coming back to the ball and making the catch on the sideline. So good job by Brees there making that catch, but it should have never got to that point because Tyrod, you see the eyes. And another thing too is, I don't know if I thought it was just a Fields thing, but now watching Tyrod too, their play action fakes are some of the worst I've ever seen in the NFL. And nobody's biting on this. Like that's not selling linebackers that the ball was handed off there. Now the initial run action can sell them, but you also have to sell the fake, and some of their fakes have been brutal. And I understand if you're with like a terrible offensive line that can't block up a play, that you have to pull it short to get your eyes to the field quicker. But you have a great offensive line. Why are the sells not good? So that's a question with Charles London, like why the fake's been so bad. Maybe that's
what a quarterback coach does, by the way? Because my big thing is like if Engstrand's going to be here, fine. I'm good with that. But why is our QB coach a former running back who has a running back coach experience before he started coaching quarterbacks with Seattle a couple of years ago?
Yeah, Angstrad's more for scheme, and then like the individual techniques of the plays are more of the position coaches. Now, like I'm not in the room, so I'm sure different teams like the OC may lean more into the individual plays and stuff like that. Like I can't speak on it because I've never been in an NFL room, but typically it's more so of the quarterbacks coaches. So yeah, that's a problem with bringing in a running backs coach who recently transferred to a quarterbacks coach and developed pretty much nobody. You know, that was the one name in the offseason. I'm like looking like Charles Law. I'm like, what? Like who is this guy? So
he's a former running back. Like he has no experience really with any notable quarterback.
None. I don't. They're all bad. All the quarterbacks he's coached. So yeah, not the most glowing resume. So that's a move where like you're talking about coaching changes next year. I don't know like how they evaluate these guys. Like is Glenn going to look at them like, oh, all these techniques are wrong with the quarterback, let's get rid of them? I don't know. Would I side the dotted line right now for Charles London with rookie quarterback next year? Absolutely not. Like I'd rather take a shot in the dark on somebody else. You know, who's
hire the best
somebody.
Yeah, like who's like the Greg Knapp that they need to hire, or like go give a blank check to Jordan Palmer and get him to be the personal quarterback coach for whoever the rookie is that they take. Yeah,
or like I don't think Kurt Warner would do it. Like somebody, like I don't know. But
the play action has been someone like that is like can work specifically. Whose job is, hey, your job, follow this kid everywhere, develop him.
Yeah, what's the dude from quarterback school? What is his name? Like that, like a dude like that. You know, he's played in the NFL, knows what they're talking about. But yeah, the fakes have been brutal. But again, Tyrod's looking at that deep over route. Again, as soon as he starts to get lateral, he looks to that back or to the dig, not the backside dig, just a dig. He's staring at it, doesn't throw it for whatever reason. So just showing people that like there's some meat on the bone here with a good quarterback that we are going to want to. Or hopefully we capitalize on. And I lied. I actually do have him missing Taylor on this play, but it's the reverse into the flea flicker here. And you have Mason Taylor who does a good job on the front side of this play where he's going to, block and then release on the wheel route. And, certain offenses like this is just a runoff and this is the primary read. You can read 1 to 2 here. It's all dependent on the offense. This could be like an alert versus like middle of field open, whatever it may be, but you're really going to try to hit the wheel here. And wheel, rail route, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. Rail is more vertical. This is more of a wheel to me because it's more outside breaking, but nonetheless, that's just, little stupid nerdy stuff. But you have a play where Mason Taylor, gets open. You're talking about him creating separation on a linebacker here. He has a yard vertically and 2 yards horizontally. You throw away from leverage. You want this ball outside and vertical. And he puts the ball way too far outside and with a little bit too much air under him. If this ball is led to Mason Taylor, you're talking about a large chunk gain that is it's designed by Engstrand with that block and release by Taylor, knowing how to use your guys. And then you have, Tyrod who puts it too far outside. Mason Taylor does not do the best job of tracking this. Like he jumps a little bit too early and gears down a little bit too early. He may have been able to catch that if he tracked it very well. But in general, Tyrod made it too difficult on him. But to say like, hey, this isn't a good play design, like there's some creativity here. It's blocked up well by everybody. You have an open tight end, but you have Tyrod who cannot connect. So I don't understand how you kill Engstrand necessarily, but another play where good quarterback leads him well, hits this play, and it's a chunk gain. So
it's good seeing this because again, we know Tyrod Taylor is not the future. He's better than Fields. We've seen some more competency from the offense these last 2 games, but Engstrand is part of the future. So guys need to be schemed open. And Engstrand also deserves some grace too, I think, when you consider their number 1 and number 2 receivers the last 3 games are guys that have only been on the team for 3 weeks.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt, dude. Like, imagine just adding Garrett Wilson to this. Imagine adding, a mid-tier number 2, whether in free agency or in the draft next year, and adding that to Mitchell. Another year of Mason Taylor's development, another year of the offensive line's development. So there's been plenty where I've been watching him and like, yeah, again, you could. That's not a nitpick to criticize some of the things he's been doing, but you could be level-headed and recognize that there's been some flaws in him as an OC, but he's also been doing plenty enough to be encouraging for years going forward, and him being the OC. So I'm comfortable with him moving forward. Now he's never developed a rookie quarterback, so I don't know how that's going to go. But with that being said, like, he's had to work with Fields, so can it be much worse? Like, you're hoping the rookie's more established mentally than Fields is. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but I'm definitely not pulling the plug. That's for sure. So
all right, that's good to know. What do we got here on this next play?
Yeah, I'm just going to highlight some Will McDonald, a guy who's been, I got 3 plays from him, and we'll wrap it up. A guy who has been kind of involved in like interesting conversations. Like, do you need to bring in another starter? Is he a guy you trade? Does he fit the defense? He gets shut down a little bit versus good competition. He seems to thrive versus bad tackles and not play well versus the good tackles. Jake Matthews is a pretty solid left tackle, and he produced in this game. He's probably he was the best Jets player on defense. So it was a good game from him.
Really?
Like a prove-it game.
You thought that was that good for McDonald?
Yeah, I would say so. I didn't do the article, and I don't do stats, and I don't chart because I don't have time, but I think he had 3 or 4 quarterback hits. He had a couple of run stuffs in this game. So, I would say he was the best player on the Jets defense in this game, which is big because he's a player who's going to be here. In my opinion, he's a guy who, you probably bring I think he's a starter, but you have to bring in like a quasi starting run stuffer next to him. To play them on run situations, but he was the most impressive player on defense in my opinion in this game, and we're gonna see some plays of why. So this is the first play, just good recognition on the screen, and all he recognizes here is that Jake Matthews is kind of inviting him to get vertical. Well, McDonald knows that tackles are not paid to let guys sack the quarterback, so he feels that something is up. Ball is snapped again, comes off the ball quickly with explosion. Notices Jake Matthews inviting him to get vertical, sees that Kirk Cousins is loading up to throw the ball. Speed turns to the outside while tracking the ball, seeing if you can maybe make a play on it. Obviously, it's too high to make a play on it, but the good recognition then brings him to Bijan Robinson, and you have Will McDonald, who individually shuts down a screen. So obviously a great play by him for a tackle of loss of whatever it is, maybe 2 yards there. So hell of a play by McDonald with the recognition. Another play where like this is not even just pass rush stuff. You just shut down a screen. Now we have a play where he's shutting down the run game. And I talk about it a little bit in my longer reviews, but he has to do a little bit better job with stacking guys. He kind of ducks his head and extends his arms over his head a little bit too much, where I want him to be a little bit more linear, like arch in the back type deal, and lift instead of push. A lot of defensive line is much more so lift than it is push. A lot of people think it is push, but a lot of it's lift. Nonetheless, obviously still not great, but this is a good play. Again, notice the aggressive set. Okay, they're run setting, they're coming at me. Land the hands first, land the hand inside, have good leverage on Jake Matthews. One arm is longer than 2, right? Wide track from the running back, so he doesn't want to get outflanked to the sideline. So he's going to keep this extension with the left, and then he's going to expand so the running back doesn't get outside of him. He obviously tracks the running back, right? Running back takes it more vertical. Really good hand usage here. You're going to see Will McDonald take the right hand, control the wrist of Jake Matthews, because right now he's not going to be able to flip the hips and get inside because his shoulder is getting pushed out right here. So takes the right hand, removes the wrist off of him, and then there from the Falcons from pistol for one Mr. Will McDonald. So I'll continue with the last one really quickly. This is a quarterback hit from him, and again, good game from him as shutting down screens. We had some run plays. He had a chase down tackle from behind in the run game as well. And now we have a play where Kirk Cousins was going to get rid of the ball, I believe, to the right. I forget if something was open or not, but a play where, it's not a sack, but clearly he affects the play. And it's a really good pass rush just in terms of the plan that he has. So comes off the ball with explosion. He uses a skip step here. Skip step coming up really high. It's reduced like half stride from that right step. And what he's doing right now is kind of just lulling the tackle to sleep. He then explodes vertically to the outside, making the tackle think, okay, he slow playing me inside to burst to the outside. So then he's going to shoot the hands. shoots the hands. McDonald times the punch. And this is something of a changeup he's done this year, just technique-wise. Last year, he was chopping down a lot on this arm. Now he's kind of like a long arming that shoulder. And what that does is, if you're able to land contact on that shoulder, obviously, if your left shoulder is getting pushed, your upper body is going to open to the outside, and your upper body opens to the outside. Your hips also follow your upper body, and he's jolting them back at the same time. So landing that hand is very, very important. So lands the hand, opens the hips of Matthews, gets the ice pick in, which this ice pick is just like that rotation of that right hand. And what you're basically trying to do is, ideally, you want the elbow past the frame of the offensive lineman. And what you're going to do is basically just drive through your elbow, which one prohibits him from flipping the hip, like dropping the post and getting back in on this. So it prohibits him from matching him, and it also propels him forward. So it's a really nice ice pick by Will McDonald. Flattens out, gets the hit on Kirk Cousins, forces him to dirt the ball, and just, negated a completion there for Cousins. So a really good game for Will McDonald.
Wow, that's good to know. And I thought you mentioned AZ Thomas. I thought he played pretty well too. I'm trying to think who else on defense could I highlight here. I mean, again, we know there's clear talent deficiencies in some areas, and I think schematically we know what the deal is with Wilkes, but I just, to me, I'm still all in on let's spend in free agency to fix the defense, and let's use our draft capital on offensive players. That would be my strategy going into the offseason.
Yeah, I'm pretty much like, I'm aligned with you. I am like simply premium capital, whether it be dollars in free agency or high draft picks on offense, and the lesser value stuff on the defense. Now, like, I'm not going to hold myself into that. Like, if there's a great safety available in free agency or a great one in the draft and the Jets really, really love them, and I'm like, oh no, skip on that guy to draft the receiver. Not necessarily, but I definitely am leaning towards premium assets on the offense and make this a really comfortable offense for the quarterback to come into. You're talking about top half of the league running back, really good receivers. Hopefully, if you add a number 2, a good offensive line, a good start at tight end with Mason Taylor. I think Rucker could be your 3. So premium assets on the offense. This offense with a good quarterback could be, an actual good offense, which we haven't seen in.
What's that?
My God. I don't know. When was the last time? 2010 is the last time we had a good offense, and it was not anything pretty. It was ground and pound,
Maybe
fun to watch, kind of, but
2015 with Fitz. I think that's the last time they statistically had a top 10 rated offense.
Yeah, you're right. Hero balls sometimes just, Brandon Marshall. And then really past that, it was 2017 with John Morton, who had some good games with Josh McCown, and then they fire him for a guy who's been hiking in the Appalachian Mountains for 2 years and not coaching football, which was a great move by the Jets. So yeah, it'd be fun to see good offense. And I think they have a solid foundation right now that I'm hoping they add premium capital to.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Again, Joe Blewett is with us here. We just went through the film. We're going to get to some calls. Condensed show for you. I did 2 hours of radio today on ESPN New York. And then my friends at ESPN were like, you want to come to the Ranger game tonight? And I go, well, I'm an Islander fan. They're like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, all right, I'll wear a Knicks hat. So I'm going to the Ranger game tonight. So we will not have as long of a show as usual. We'll be back with Dick Shine tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. But we will do the weekly raffle at the end of the show. And this is your last chance to enter. So tank for Ty. A Ty Simpson sycophant is in the chat. He's in the raffle for 1. And the raffle, again, will be at the end of today's show. Boomtown checking in. He's called in back-to-back days. Now he's in the raffle for 1. And Craig down under in Australia. Get to the community 5-channel memberships. He's in to win.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Someone's going to win a chance at 3 signed Jet items coming up in just a bit. Brett with a super chat. Brett, I got your email. Congrats on winning the signed Broadway Joe helmet. We get that sent out to you this week. I think our rookie quarterback will love Mason Taylor next season. I sent over an email. Yep, I got it. Thank you, Brett. And by the way, Brett is in law school, I believe he wrote to me. So Spencer Green, the only lawyer that regularly tunes into this show. Brett is doing the same thing. And by the way, Spencer Green, if you're out there, you owe me $100, buddy. I haven't heard from you since the Jets went out there and lost to the Ravens, and you made this big bet. And Spencer Green owes me $100, and he's been nowhere to be found. So shout out to Spencer Green, wherever you might be. As far as the first point here, how would you assess Mason Taylor's rookie year, Joe, watching every play?
Yeah, I've been saying this a lot. Like, he's not a guy who's been producing a lot, but plays like that where he's open and he's overthrown. I don't want to seem like he's Rob Gronkowski or anything, but I really, in general, like relative to expectations, I don't think he could have been more impressive than he's been this season, because he's been really good catching the ball. You know, he's had a drop or two, but a lot of his catches are contested when he is catching it, and his blocking has been so much better than I've expected. So I think he's a guy who you're comfortable with moving forward with your tight end one. And I think you need to add a legit two, because there's a lot of like 12 personnel and it offers a lot of versatility to your offense. But I've been thrilled with Mason Taylor. Like, relative to expectations, he's been just as good of a tight end in his rookie year, like relative to expectations, as Membu has been a tackle. So those first two picks have been absolute home runs.
That's good to hear. By the way, JT O'Sullivan is who you were thinking of. Light grenade all over it. That is the quarterback film school guy. He would he not be more valuable than whatever Charles London does on the Jets coaching staff?
I don't know, man. I like, there's so many intricacies to football, but like the fact that they're 2 yards away from play action fakes is just so bad. And again, if there's a situation where your offensive line's bad, and or it's a situation where there's a blitz coming and you know you have to pull the ball short, fine. But there's some plays where they're like max protection, 6, 7, 8 guys blocking, and they're pulling the ball short. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, they're not going to bite on it. So yeah. And anybody who's played quarterback before, you know, or has a history of coaching quarterbacks would be better than a running back coach.
I would agree. This one is from Dana, who says, put me in, please. Dana, you're in for one. By the way, for this show, $5 super chats, just like we did on the first show today, a little listener appreciation. We'll get you a raffle ticket for anyone who wants a last-second entry. Put me in, please. No Mendoza. Take best receiver available wherever we fall in the top 12. Maybe Downs, but I know most dislike that idea. Joe, early thoughts on the approach to quarterback. Are you someone who'd be willing to trade up? Do you have a quarterback in mind you would trade up for? Because now there's a lot of Jet fans saying they don't want to trade anything. They'll just wait and pick wherever. If the quarterback's there, great. If not, they'll take someone else.
Yeah. Like I said last week, there's so many variables. Like, where do the Jets pick? What quarterbacks are coming out? Does Simpson go back to school? Does Moore go back to school? Does it take a first-round pick to get up? Does it take a second and a fourth to get up? So, like, there's so many intricacies where I say, like, oh, I don't want to say, like, oh, yeah, definitely I'll trade up. If it's like a situation where, hey, you know, the Jets are picking 6th and Ty Simpson or Moore, whoever falls to 4, and they can trade a second and some change to get up, yes. Do I think I'm trading a first plus to get any of these quarterbacks in this draft? Me personally, no. With that being said, if the Jets do it and they have conviction in their guy, then hey, I get it. You guys go do it. My evaluation, which I still have to do more of on these guys, I would say I'm not trading a first plus to get these guys. But if they love those guys, then go and get them. So
I look, I'm to me right there with you. If you love someone and you have conviction, go get them. But you better be right, because you only get really one chance at this for any regime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm seeing some stuff from, actually, you talked about Black Gypsy before in the chat, some about levels with the offense, but there was a play I showed last week with the sail concept where it had a deep read, intermediate read, short read, and then Tyrod missed the intermediate read. So there's levels to it. There's checkdowns. The thing I will say is, like, I want to see him use Breece more as a primary receiver, but there are checkdowns available, and every play kind of has levels to it, unless it's, you know,
I got news for you. Black Gypsy's on the line, and he wants to debate Tanner Engstrand with you. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to say hello to a man that we call Black Gypsy.
I'm Black Gypsy. Here to set all you delusional Jets fans straight. Your takes make me want to punch you in the face or kick you in the crotch. When this team sucks, they suck. I'm Black Gypsy. I'm Black Gypsy. I'm Black Gypsy. I'm Black Gypsy.
Joe. All right, so I'm pretty good. You graded Tanner way too high. So I'm going to ask you a question. What would you grade the OC from Atlanta yesterday or on Sunday?
A B plus.
All right. Do you think he outcoached our OC?
Well, he's coaching against the DC.
Who had a better game, OC wise, him or us?
Him, but some of the plays that we're going to praise him for, Engstrand just did the same exact thing last week.
All right, so that's my thing, right? Everyone is correct about Engstrand in a certain way. Like, he can scheme guys open, but the time it takes to scheme those guys open, his short game is not good. It's almost non-existent. His blocking schemes are really, really bad.
How did Mechie get his touchdown last week?
It was in the end zone. Like, That's different play calls. The field shortened for you, and it was still a longer play. My thing about him is this: in watching him,
it was a 5-yard out route that was open immediately because of how he schemed versus a banjo call where he stemmed the receiver inside, so the banjo call got switched up. He ran a 5-yard out and was wide open and ran in for a touchdown.
Yeah, which he does a lot in the end zone in short yardage situations. He does that where most of his plays are out routes, slant routes, or long developing in routes. Like the underneath game is not there. Like what we saw the Atlanta OC do was plan a game, a short game, and then a long game whenever it opens up. Pitts was open a lot yesterday. Bijan was playing underneath in drags, doing hooks and comebacks to the ball. Like,
can I follow up?
Do any of that.
Was Mechie wide open on a drag route that he just dropped?
He was. He did drop it, but I'm not talking about in the end zone. I'm talking so the first 2 quarters of that game, our OC did a bad job. Brees is supposed to be the captain of that offense. Like if Garrett's not there, so it should go through Brees and Mason, and then work plays to get Mechie open through the play action on the run, right? Or AD.
I'm with you on the Brees thing.
We don't have that. So the identity of the team is weird. When I'll give you examples on 4th and 2s and 3rd down and small, there's no underneath route, like a quick route to Brees. Brees, your guy who we're going to run this offense around that can catch the ball and run and make yards after. You don't have him on a hook route. You don't have him on a comeback. You have him block and stay blocked. You don't have him block and go out to a drag to catch the ball. Like, and the thought process is looking deeper instead of looking for the short. How many slants do we run as a team? Like, our play actions are so bad because of our blocking scheme and how we run the play action. Like, it's almost non-existent. We have a tight end that doesn't catch a lot of play action passes. Like, how can you rate him high when the basic stuff is not good yet? Like, he hasn't done enough. What he's good at is down the field, I'd say. Down the field, his play calls open up a lot better, but underneath the 5-yard game, the 8-yard game, he doesn't really have that. It's non-existent.
Yeah, I just don't think we see necessarily eye to eye on him. I would say like he needs more creativity in short yardage at times. I would like to see Brees be more of a primary passing threat. A lot of running backs typically, unless you're like Bijan or Christian McCaffrey, are specifically like the primary target on passing plays, but typically it's a lot of just checkdowns to running backs, and that's how they get their yardage. So, but there are plays. The Mechie play from last week, he was wide open. The Mechie drag from this week, he was wide open. He dropped it. He schemed the double reverse into a flea flicker. Mason Taylor's wide open. He overthrew him. He had the plays where he came in whatever game he came in relief, and he schemed up 2 wide open touchdowns that Tyrod either overthrew or threw it late. So there's been issues, but he's also schemed guys open. So I'm not going to say he's an A+. I'm not going to say he's a D. I think he's a B. Like, I think it's fair to criticize him with some of the short yardage stuff. Like you said, I think it's fair to criticize him for some of the Brees stuff, but it's undeniable that he's getting his guys open at times, and either they're dropping the ball or the quarterback's not getting them the ball.
What's the reason you think they don't use Brees the way other teams use a running back like a Brees?
Yeah, so part of it is game plan too, right? Like when you have 8-9 guys in the box, it's hard to take advantage of your running backs. Teams know that he is going to be a primary option for the Jets, and when you don't have a lot in terms of receiving game because of the quarterbacks, they're going to stack their box. They're going to focus a lot on him. With that being said, should they do it more? Yes. Can I also be a little bit honest? And I think I'm going to get maybe hit a little bit in the chat for this. I do think Brees is a good receiving back. Do I think he's overrated by Jets fans who tend to mention Brees and Christian McCaffrey in the same sentence? I do.
Like, he's not as good as Bijan or McCaffrey, but he's good enough to catch it, is all I'm saying.
But also last year, I think he led the NFL in drops from running backs. So it's like a thing where, I think he should be a more of a primary option, but it's also, I think it's harder said than done when he's going to be the primary focus of the defense, because I know Justin Fields, for lack of a better term, sucks ass. So there's been some problems with Engstrand, but I do think a B is fair for him. And we have to consider he's a rookie too. Like, everybody grows.
All right, so my last question was, every time I call now, Jake's going to be like, oh my God, because I'm going to ask it. Now, with the rookie coach, rookie OC, here we go. We're doing it. We're doing this. With the rookie OC, right? And I get that we're trying to see what Taylor can get out of the offense, to see what players we have for next year. But wouldn't it be good to see a rookie head coach or OC with the rookie that we have on our team now, to see what he can do with a bad player? Because everyone's saying that Cook is like the worst quarterback on God's green earth. Let me see what this OC can do with him, and not the last 2 games. Because the last 2 games, can you evaluate a quarterback in 2 games, especially the last 2 games of the season?
Oh, you're saying a full evaluation? No, obviously not. It takes 20, 25 games, whatever, to make a fair
It takes
evaluation.
a good amount of games. So my question is this: isn't it time now to put Cook in so we can see what he can do with a rookie right now? Because we're going to get a rookie next year, and then he's going to play at some point. And if they haven't developed Cook at all throughout this season, then when that quarterback comes next year, how does he just magically then develop that guy because he's the guy that we picked? If we hadn't practiced it when we could practice it now, we have the opportunity now to practice with that guy. Wins don't really matter that much if what we're doing is evaluating. So putting Cook in the second half of games, or for a quarter, then putting back Tyrod, and if it's competitive or whatever, and he's doing bad, like, let us see what you can do with the rookie before we give you another rookie to play with.
Yeah, but not all rookies are the same, Black Chips. That's been my point to you. Like, Fernando Mendoza is a different level of player coming in than what a UDFA and Brady Cook is. Well, I'll let Joe answer because you know where I stand on this, Black Gypsy.
Yeah, so basically, like, my 2 follow-up questions to that is, 1, what if he just sucks? And they see that in practice that he's just terrible. And 2, what does that do to the locker room? Like, for people, a lot of guys love Tyrod in the locker room. He's now winning games. He's operating the offense better than Fields. And you're actually, again, starting to prove, like, not prove anything on offense, like, that's legitimate, but you're starting to be a functional NFL offense. And you pull him for Brady Cook, who's a UDFA, who's undoubtedly going to struggle. Like, what does that do to your locker room on top of the question of what if he's just not good in practice? Like, we don't want to play this guy.
But it's Tyrod's thing. Are we re-signing Tyrod? Before Tyrod had this good game, everybody was like, Tyrod's done. We're getting rid of him next year. Now he had one good game. We're like, we're re-signing Tyrod. Tyrod is still made of paper mache. Like, if you touch him too hard, he's going to break. So, like, we shouldn't plan to keep Tyrod. He should be our 3rd, if anything. Like, we should be getting someone that's actually healthy that can play, because as good as Tyrod can play, he's still a big liability on the field. If we're not keeping him and we have Cook, like, we should integrate the kid in the offense so we can see. My only question about Tanner is this: the short plays, and then I want to see him with an actual rookie, because Tyrod put that game on his back yesterday and won that game. Like, what's his name called up some good plays, but Tyrod ran in for a touchdown. Like, he missed a couple plays also, but that game was on Tyrod. Like, so I want to see what he can do with a rookie, whether the rookie really, really sucks or not. The play calls are still going to be the same. You'll still be able to evaluate whether guys are open or not, and see if the OC is doing a good job, because that's what we're doing now anyway. Let's see it with the rookie is all I'm saying. Because why did we sign him? We're not going to do anything with him, but we're going to get a rookie next year.
He was on the practice squad. He's a number 3 guy.
You want to see Fields? Would you rather see Fields come back into a game?
If Tyrod's hurt, I would go to Brady Cook. I agree from that standpoint, but I think Joe nails it when you talk about playing Brady Cook now, when Glenn has said it's all about winning games, we're all about winning, and you're playing an inferior quarterback with still 5 games to go.
By that point, wouldn't the guys in the locker room be pissed if Cook is not number 2 and Fields is number 2? Because Fields is
well, but hold on. There's a difference between Fields as the team captain being the backup to Tyrod now, and then, Brady Cook leapfrogging him on the depth chart. I think if there's an injury to Tyrod, right, in game, Fields would finish it, but then maybe the following week, Brady Cook would start over Justin Fields, and the Jets would say, now we're in evaluation mode. Let's see what we have in Cook.
As soon as he said he didn't want to run the option play or come in for the option play, I wanted Fields gone.
I agree.
I never want to hear his name again. He shouldn't even be on the squad tonight.
Yeah, he said he was worried about a soft tissue injury if he comes in off the bench cold.
Like, you're done, bro. Brutal. You played the way you played this whole season, and you refused to play. What? Done with it. But that's all I got. So I guess everybody will see on Cook. You know what I mean? Because I want to see Cook. That's the rest of my season. That's the only thing I got. Because the rest
Ladies
of
and gentlemen, the biggest Brady Cook truther to ever do it, Black Gypsy. All right, home stretch of the show here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to get to a couple questions that we had for Joe. This one's from the big fella. Joe, can you explain who is mainly at fault for Pitts' career game against us? We can't cover tight ends or the middle of the field.
Yeah, I don't know if this is before we did the film review or after, but I kind of showed that it was blown coverage and it was good calls versus man defense that they were exposing from the Falcons. So it wasn't like he was dominating any one-on-one matchups. It was more so just him being wide open and schematically, you know. So
oh, the pain. Derek,
which by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jake, on your own show. Is there a Charles Gorman on the line?
I'll tell you what. Not only is there a Charles Gorman on the line, but before we bring Charles on, I'm required to play this. You betrayed the Jet fandom and left the fan base.
You can't tell me how to be a fan.
Now, Peter Castro says Charles is a bit of a cross-dresser. Is this true?
No, I'm not a cross-dresser.
Jetpack says, get this weirdo Colts fan off my screen. Bad juju Gorman. And now Sauce is hurt. I think you're responsible.
The stupid worm dance by McCreary Ball was complete garbage.
Any chance we could get you to reenact that?
No, I'm not doing that, Jake.
I think that would win people over, though, Charles. If you want to get
doing it, Jake, and that's final.
I think it's a pretty easy dance to do, right? You literally just get on the ground and you kind of do like a worm-like thing. Tell Charles in the chat that you will accept his apology
Jake,
if
don't
Gorman
do this crap.
Charles, I'm trying to help you. This is your opportunity to win those people over. Give us the seizure celebration. Turn this into yours. Don't rip ass. Ladies and gentlemen, Gorman doing the seizure celebration. Here it is on the screen, folks. This is what Charles Gorman is reenacting right now. He wants your support. Give us the
J-O-B, job, job, job. Hello, Joe Blewett.
What's going on, Charles? I need a little bit more of the background information that you.
I told you. I messaged you on Instagram about the whole situation, but I was going to tell you in the chat on your show, but you were ending it. So basically, here's the situation. Several members of my community inclusion group on Sunday went to the Bazaar BAZAAR event at St. Mary's in Middletown. And while I was walking around the lobby, I stumbled upon a vendor that revolved around this year's Super Bowl. So I went up, I looked at it, and I introduced myself to the gentleman, and I said, I'm a bit of a YouTuber. He said, I have a son-in-law that's a YouTuber. I said, what's his name? He said, Joe Blewett. So I typed in Joe Blewett on YouTube, and it said, Jet Death Factor, I know this guy. He appears on Jake Asman's show from time to time. So he told me his name. His name is Craig Palmer, not Greg. I thought it was Craig.
Yeah.
Craig Palmer, yeah. It's a nice man, your father-in-law.
Yeah, a little bit of a background, Jake. I'm just on my show, and Charles was like, I met your father-in-law. What's up? I was like, what? How do you know who my father-in-law is? So I had no background information of what happened, but he's like, yeah, Craig Palmer, your guy or whatever. I was like, what is going on here? So I appreciate the background information, Charles. And I do appreciate the dedication to the dance. I do think the execute of the dance could have been a little bit better. So I give you like a B+ on it, but I appreciate you trying to earn the trust back.
But this meatball wanted me to do it.
I'm trying to get the chat to like you again, Charles. You should be thanking me.
I am who I am.
So do you go around telling people I'm a bit of a YouTuber?
I don't tell everybody, but I tell when I'm able to, yes.
Oh.
I don't go around, hey, I'm a YouTuber, hey, I'm a YouTuber, hey, I'm a YouTuber. I don't do that. No. I just, when we have conversation, I tell people what I do,
Hey, Dave Briggs called you a fraud.
I want to say a few choice words, but I'm not. This is supposedly a family-friendly show.
You could say it.
Fuck you, Dave Briggs.
Whoa! Whoa!
On behalf of the Jake Asman Show, we apologize for the foul language.
Charles, have some respect for your elders.
Jake, I think you got to cancel that Rangers game. I think we have to have a brawl between the Briggo, who I got threatened by last week, I believe, and Charles there. So I think you got to skip your plans for tonight.
Oh my goodness gracious! Of all the dramatic things I have ever seen, unbelievable! Wow. Oh goodness gracious, Joe. We will get you out of here on that. You're the man. Appreciate you hopping on. Great job with the film review as always.
Yeah, I appreciate it. 5 more weeks of watching the Jets, and then we got some free agents and draft and all that stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to the offseason, but appreciate you and I appreciate the chat, and I'll talk to you next week on Tuesday.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jet X's own, the great Joe Blewett with his weekly film breakdown segment. We have the weekly raffle coming up. Last chance to enter for these 3 signed items and get in next week's raffle ahead of time. Thank you to Derek, the Jet fan, for entering. He's in for 1. Mike Perez writes in, I'm so disgusted how the Patriots are back. Oh, don't get me started, Mike. It's the worst. Mike Vrabel should be the Jet coach right now. It sickens me. New York and Atlanta is in the Asmaniac raffle for 1. Kyle Clifton is in the raffle for 5. QBs like Sellers, Sorsby, headed for the portal, but they were inevitably resurfaced in discussions in 2027. I'd like to see both with some NFL talent to support them. Haven't seen them enough in the raffle. Look, I don't want the toolsy guy. Give me the guy with the highest floor if we're going quarterback early, because I don't trust the Jets to develop the quarterback. So give me the guy that has the highest floor. That's my personal preference. We'll see what they ultimately decide, but I've never been a Sellers guy. I think him staying in school for another year is smart because he could play himself into being a true first-round pick with a good season. Ralphie in the raffle for 2. Simpson's 3 touchdown passes were legit. He's going against excellent defenses and future number 1 picks weekly. I like Ty Simpson, Ralphie. I do. I like him. I like Mendoza. I think Dante Moore is ultimately the wild card in all this if he declares, if he comes out. His offensive coordinator leaving to take the job with Kentucky, I think, is a good thing for the Jets. I think some people I spoke to think that maybe makes it more likely he would potentially go out there and leave and declare for the draft if he's considered a top 10 pick. Matt L. in the house. Matt, congrats on your raffle win. You won a Jets jersey of your choosing, and you chose Joe Flacco. We'll get that ordered for you, Matt. You're in the raffle coming up here for 1. All right, few calls left, and then I got to run. We got to squeeze in a raffle. So if you need a fast call, well, there's one guy you go to.
What do you guys' opinion on me doing a backflip through this orange wall?
Jake,
No.
let's talk about the Jets. So this is my predictions for the Jets Dolphins game. So I think I think the Jets are going to win 24-20. The Dolphins are not that great of a team. I mean, granted, they had a couple wins in the last couple weeks, but they beat the lowly Saints. They beat the Commanders. And then they really bet on bad teams. I think the Jets are going to beat the Dolphins. What's your thoughts on that, Jake?
I think they could. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Miami's playing their best football of the year, but Tua's never won when the temperature's sub 40 degrees, and the projected temps is about 38 degrees right now. So something's got to give.
I agree with you. Tua's not good under 40 degrees. You know, the Dolphins are the softest team. You know, they're horrible when it's under 40 degrees. They only play good because they play in the dome in Miami when it's like 75, 80 degrees. They can't play in 40-degree weather. It's going to be cold. You know, December game is going to be rainy, cold, 35-degree weather, Jake. So I think the Jets are going to beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins just can't play in cold weather.
I don't disagree, Mad Max. Now, I'm told that you snorted copious amounts of substances before this call. Is that true?
No.
You drank 7 Red Bulls?
No, that never happened.
You have had 12 cups of coffee today?
No, I did not.
And he has not taken any Adderall. He has not taken any Adderall as well.
Wow. No Adderall. What about Vyvanse?
None.
None? So you're all natural?
I'm just always energetic, Jake.
Mad Max, do you ever get tired?
I mean, at night I get tired, but I usually go to bed. You know, I get tired like late at night, Jake.
Really?
You know, yeah, like late. But I usually go to bed at a good time. I always have a lot of energy. Like I work out, Jake. Work out.
Any truth to the rumor? You get up every morning, you get out of bed, and you go. Brrr, you like rev your.
Not true. It's so not true, Jake.
Okay. I have no further questions for you, Mad Max.
Before we go, Jets, Jets.
If Mad Max ain't yapping about Jets, that boy, he's jamming, he's standing, freaking dancing, wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman. He got an orange wall.
A little busy right now. Thank you. Doing some researches right now. Barely got up still. It's not so good. Give me a break on. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? 17 something for that. Get out of here. Get that nonsense. Come on, let's get real, shall we, people? But on our caller, Jake. Yeah, I'm a tough son of a bitch. I've been through it all. I mean, I've been hit by a bus, still got back up.
You've been hit by a bus. Let's start. What type of bus? Short bus?
Public transit. The guy was an asshole, so yeah, I already took care of it. Don't worry about it.
So what happened after he hit you?
It got physical, so I don't want to talk about it.
You beat up the bus driver?
But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about that.
Wait, hold on. And then the second thing is you said you survived an ear infection?
3 times.
Wow.
2005, 2015, 2016. Survived.
Hold on. This is a huge accomplishment. You're a 3-time ear infection survivor?
No, that don't count.
What do you mean they don't count?
That's the past. This is the future. The future is... Oh. Where in the hell can you find a good damn easy shirt at? Come on, really? Really? I'm trying to find some good stuff here. I can't seem to find shit. I'm barely waking up still. Can y'all Shame. Go to another caller, please. This is really getting really annoying. Please go to another caller. I'm getting really annoyed right now. I'm tired right now. I'm still very tired right now. Go to another caller.
You're tired. I don't get it, man.
I look like shit. I feel like shit right now.
What is it, like the medication, the diabetes?
How was you like a first class trip called this thing called my foot up your ass? Maybe
Why do you get so offended by these? Like, I'm trying to understand your health.
I'm very
issues.
tired. Look,
Okay.
The weather does not make me feel good. It just makes me feel like.
So you have like COPD, you have like some respiratory issue or like I don't know, seasonal allergies. I don't know.
My body is tired. It's called when you try doing what I've done for the last several years. It ain't been an easy ride for me. It's been nothing but rough. You try living in several different key states. Give you an example. Try living up in upstate New York. Try going through Jersey for a long time. Try going through Philly. Try going through Allentown, and that's it. That's not an easy ride. That's tough. That's real tough. See, you got to try that once in a lifetime. You try it. I'm very tired right now. Just please let me have some peace because right now I'm very tired.
I get it, Beast, man. Just lay down, chill out. Watch your favorite soap operas. And
I don't watch that shit. I don't watch shit like that. You know damn well I don't watch that garbage.
We'll watch old like WWE videos.
Unless if it's Becker, I will watch Becker because you know who was in Becker? Ted Danson.
Ted Danson.
Yeah, that's right.
Wasn't he in Taxi? No, it wasn't him.
Try Cheers. He was also in.
No, that's Tony.
He was also 3 Men and the Baby in the movie. Yeah.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac Raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
All right, we got to end the show early because, Beast needs some peace and quiet. So the raffle's right now for the week. Again, thanks to everyone who entered. Let me get to these last-second super chats that all qualified for said raffle. Matt L. gifted another membership. Mike Perez, I got your entries in. We need to start playing over-unders and how many times Mad Max says Jake. I would agree. My favorite bit is when Mad Max goes, Jake, can you hear me? And I respond no every time as if it matters, as if he's not going to just blow past whatever I say. I could say, Mad Max, I have a stick in my ass. He would not even acknowledge it and get to his jet point. Mike Perez says 3 rings. David Atkins in for 1, and Matt L again. Brown stained shorts are worn by ear infection survivors. Apparently, that might be true. All right, here's how this works. You can only win once per raffle, per weekly raffle. So if you win, you got to email me your name, your address, so I know where to send your raffle prize to. Thanks to everyone who entered throughout the week. Here we go. Prize number 1 is a signed jersey by Jets legend, Pro Football Hall of Famer, Darrelle Revis. Your winner is Frank P. Hey, congrats to Frank. He's won a signed Namath jersey and now a signed Revis jersey in back-to-back raffles. All right, let's keep it rolling, folks. Frank P, winner number 1. Prize number 2 is a signed jersey by LaDainian Tomlinson. Here we go. Your winner is the Festa. This is our guy, Festa in Tampa. That's awesome. Great dude, great supporter of the channel, and a great representative of the Jet fan base. Congrats to Festa on the big win. All right, our third and final raffle prize this week is a helmet signed by Jets former All-Pro linebacker C.J. Mosley. And our last weekly winner is Matt L. He's done it again. Matt L. Congrats, 2 in a day. All right, again, Frank P., Festa, and Matt L. are your winners. Congrats to everyone, and thank you all for your incredible support. This show wouldn't be possible without all of you. Hit the Jet chant for the community. Yeah. Again, congrats to our winners. We're back at it tomorrow morning. Nick Shine will be on the show. Thanks again to everyone who tuned in. Thank you to Joe Blewett for joining us, of course, in his weekly spot for the film breakdown. You guys are the greatest. I play you out with a clip that needs to be played. Go Jets, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Jets. As always, Jets, Jets, Jets. Were you wearing a Patriots jersey yesterday?
No, that's just bullshit done by Dixon Yes.
Interesting. Matthew wants to know how you think the Patriots will do.
I'm not talking to that piece of shit.
Whoa. You know, that's actually a great point. Robbie Sabo, by the way, he didn't know what a squatty potty was. And I told him.
My parents showed it to my parents. They don't like it.
Have they ever used it themselves?
No, but they don't like the squatty potty.
Well, they haven't tried it. It's scientifically proven.
If you're going to call me a fan of a team that I like a certain player on, then screw you guys. You guys have no proof that I'm an actual Patriot fan.
Nate writes in, what has Charles done today to pursue?
Nate, mind your own fucking business.
Whoa, whoa. Let's be civil on this show. We're a family program. Oh, my God. My son just explained to his friend, this guy calls into shows and takes dumps, and then my dad did it to him.
I don't take dumps on people's shows all the time.
So OJ didn't kill people all the time, but he was labeled as a murderer. You see the point?
Yes. Well, I wanted to tune in to see what Bobby was doing, and I had to take a shit. Well, there's a lot of Indian places.
What do you mean Indian places? Like Indian restaurants?
I'm living in a big Indian community here in Islam.
Gator wants to know if you live on an Indian reservation. Yeah, we talking American Indian or Asian Indian? Are you the head tribal chief? Sean wants to know.
I can't be a head tribal chief if I'm not Indian, so no.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.